I'm delighted to introduce Ruby James, Senior Sales Manager for Startups and Venture Capital at LinkedIn, and Daniel Day, who's the Head of Marketing at Monte Carlo.
So I'm excited to dig into the real world of startups with you today. You've had an impressive tour of duty in Silicon Valley thus far. You've scaled marketing at a bunch of unicorn companies, and you're currently the Head of Growth at Monte Carlo, a Series D data observability platform. You and I have talked a lot about the impact of LinkedIn, but more recently we've been talking about growth during this kind of rainy weather.
Sure.
I'd love to hear your fast thoughts. What's your perspective on Gyanda's keynote?
Definitely an interesting time to be a growth marketer, to focus on demand gen. For us, it's a great opportunity to stay focused. Monte Carlo, of course, termed the phrase data observability. We're the leader in the space. It's still very much a category creation effort for us. And so this is the perfect time for us to stay focused, to double down, to stay the course, and to continue to invest in that area. So I thought it was a very prescient opportunity to think about those things.
We're hearing that startups are being advised by VCs.
Sure.
To really look closely at spend categories and make sure that they're seeing ROI.
Yeah.
I'm curious your perspective on how this applies to marketing.
If you go back to when we started doing marketing at earnest at Monte Carlo 17, 18 months ago, really our North Star has always been how can we help our sales development teams and our sales teams to be successful? How can we help them to book more meetings in market and develop pipeline? From the very beginning, focusing on that North Star metric of how we can drive pipeline, how we can close more business, how we can drive revenue growth at our company has set us up for this moment. You know, we don't need to change course. We can continue to invest in being transparent throughout our organization. Our CFO at Monte Carlo, he's very interested in our marketing metrics, how it actually leads to revenue generation, how we drive pipeline. He's so interested in it that he's actually in our LinkedIn advertising instance, and we go at least every few weeks, we go line by line, looking at how much it costs per lead, how much an MQL costs, how much an ICP costs, how much does it cost for us to drive an in-market meeting. And it can be scary as a marketer to have that kind of transparency, campaign level, the creative, and to see it, but it builds trust. That transparency and that trust that we've built allows us to continue to make investments in marketing, smart investments in marketing that are going to continue our growth throughout this phase.
Have you made any other changes to adapt to this climate?
When we started this journey, we created an ideal customer profile, but it's just a set of heuristics that make a good customer for Monte Carlo, and it was how we focused in the beginning. Of course, as we've gotten more customers and we've become even more data enabled and data driven, we've been able to double down in that area. So staying focused on our ICP, staying focused on our key buying personas, having ridiculous focus and conviction on what we're trying to drive and what we want to achieve is something we've doubled down on even in the past few quarters, is to stay focused, to have conviction, find the data that helps us to stay focused and keep going in that direction.
How would you advise startup sales and marketing functions to partner together to increase demand online?
We have a very clear ICP defined, as I said, a very clear buying persona that we sell to. Our sales team and sales development team, they're not going to work demand that they don't think is going to lead to in-market business for us. So it doesn't matter how many leads we generate, it doesn't matter how many marketing qualified leads we generate, it doesn't matter how many accounts we touch or qualify. It matters that we're talking to the right people at the right time and that we're sharing that interest with our team. So we have a very clearly defined service level agreement for what they'll follow up on. And it's for us, like you said, to invest in digital marketing channels, specifically like the advertising we do on LinkedIn, where we can choose the company size, the verticals, the industries, the company names, the personas, the titles, the level of education and those things. Because when we're spending money in a way that we know we're generating demand in the right companies, in the right personas, in the right verticals, and that somebody is going to be there on the other side to follow up with it, it's quite gratifying not only for myself, but in our entire marketing team to understand the content we build, the things that we're generating, the demand that we're creating is going to be followed up and lead to the growth and impact in our company.
Are there any more tactical ways that marketers can partner with sales to make sure that they're focused on the right portion of their ICP?
It's just building a relationship, whether it's the processes or the tools or the handoff that you have. If you don't have a relationship, if you can't have a conversation, if you can't go lead by lead, opportunity by opportunity, and actually have an open conversation on what good or great looks like, then you're not doing yourself justice. You can't generate demand and interest in your product and platform, throw it over a wall, and expect that people will follow up on it. You need to have a tight relationship and feedback loop so that you can both get better and drive growth in that way. It's not even meetings or conversations, it's building a real relationship and caring about not only the success of your organization, but the success of the individuals that you work with, to see them continue their career in business development or commercial sales or move on to account management and driving growth in that way.
What's one piece of advice you would give a digital marketer navigating achieving growth during this rainy weather?
Don't get too focused on your campaign metrics. Don't only hone in on your click-through rates and your conversion rates and who's interacting with your campaigns and conversions. Optimization is tremendous, but if you can't tie the things you're doing to the success or impact in your organization, if you can't take it the step beyond the digital marketing things you're doing, I would focus on that area. When you create a return on investment or you create impact at your organization and somebody asks you, what is marketing responsible for? What are these digital ads providing for us? If you can answer those questions and you can talk about the worth of marketing in your organization, it takes it to an entirely other level than just staying focused on optimization in your campaign metrics.